So if you're thinking about starting a 3D printing side hustle on Etsy this year, or you have a store set up already and you want more sales, then you are in the right place. I'm Dev. I've been running an Etsy shop for over a year now as a side hustle. I'm a star seller. I've had over 600 sales on Etsy selling 3D printed items, and these are 5 of the things I wish I knew when I was first starting out. So first up on our list, when you're first starting out, your immediate goal shouldn't be profit. It should actually be orders and reviews. You basically need to look like a legit store, and you do this from reviews and ironically past sales. This is like a little bit of a chicken and egg scenario, but this is the very first thing to address. A lot of people try to do this by pricing, their items cheaper than everyone else, especially on popular items. I personally hate that advice. I mean, if you look at this example of these articulated dragons here, I'm sure you have seen this all over the internet. And what most people do is say, hey, I can make these. Let me just sell them cheaper than everyone else on Etsy. But to be honest, racing to the bottom hurts both you and the entire market. And also, if you price your item a bit too low, buyers don't really get excited about a cheaper price. They're gonna start to think that maybe your item's actually cheap in quality rather than cheap in price. I mean, if you think about it, wouldn't you personally pay a little bit more on a store online that looks a lot more trusted and reliable when ordering something yourself? And also, one thing I found out is that cheaper customers also expect insane quality items and service for pennies. So would you really want to start out that way? Instead, what you need to do is actually compete with better options or quality, or make them come to you because they want your spin on an item. So for example, when I first started out, I actually ended up selling these custom Christmas baubles here, right? I ended up pricing them around the price of my competitors. And when someone actually ended up adding this to their basket, I sent them a discount so it felt a little bit more personal. And also because it is a custom gift, they're more likely to give you a good review, which helps you so much early on when you're starting out. And then eventually when your shop gets good reviews on unique products like this, you can of course automatically sell more of these non-custom products because your shop is ranked a bit higher and you don't look like a bot. So if you're just starting out and you don't really know how to make a custom LED bauble, which is totally fine, maybe look at some easier options like custom name tags, nameplates, door signs. And also you can link these to your friends and family in case they're more interested in buying one, because to be honest, it's way easier to sell something personal rather than, than random cool junk like this. I put this on my store, but imagine like trying to sell this to your friends and family versus something with their name on it that's small and cheap. That way you can actually build up some reviews and sales for your store, and they'll probably get an item they're more appreciative more than something like this, for example. No offense to the person who modeled this on MakerWorld. This is just an example that I had by my hand. And also, if you do want me to make a tutorial on how to make those custom name tags and nameplates for you on your store, just comment it down below so I know you guys are interested. And next up on our list, we have packaging. This might be an unpopular opinion, but the 3D printing community absolutely sucks at this. Here I am in my packaging setup. It's literally on the ironing board, so you don't need anything fancy. But when you're selling online, you need to pack for 2 important things. The first is protection, and the second is experience. I'm from the UK. It rains a lot, and sometimes drivers don't really care about the items, especially if they're from Every, which completely suck as a company. So obviously it's important to package an item properly for a customer so your item doesn't arrive damaged. But did you know that even if it does arrive damaged, purely because of the delivery company's fault, no matter how well you package it, the customer on Etsy can actually leave you a bad review, and Etsy will agree with them and say, you should have packaged it more properly. So make sure you package your item extra secure so it doesn't happen to you. It's such an easy win. And for the second part, experience-wise, please don't wrap your item in an old broken Amazon box. It just looks so cheap. Sometimes you might need to when you're out of other boxes, and that part's totally fine. But overall, make it a little bit nicer. Give it some bubble wrap, give it some brown paper, a product card, a thank you note for saying thanks for being one of my first customers. When I had done this, I noticed my reviews went up tremendously, and it actually helped me create my store to what it is today. So for example, when someone orders something from me, this isn't an actual Etsy box, but it's wrapped similar. You're gonna open it, you're gonna see the product wrapped nicely, nothing major, but then it will also have a product card, one showing the instructions for it, and the other side says thank you for your support. So these are very small wins, and it will actually get people to review your store a bit more, I found, because sometimes I would end up getting a, let's say 3 or 4 star review when it would say, oh, really nice product, but I just wish it came with a little bit of a note, so explain how to assemble the gift or a little bit more instructions for the store. Because sometimes people don't buy these products for themselves, they buy it for someone else, and the person might receive it without any context, so it's very important to package it properly. And on that note, you need to consider that people come to Etsy specifically to help smaller businesses and to get more custom experiences. So even if your gift isn't custom and it's mass 3D printed like those dragons I showed them before, make it feel a little bit more special when they support your store, because you will notice your reviews go up and eventually, hopefully, your sales will go up as well. And next up on our list is doubling down on your successes. I'm sure you guys have heard of the 80-20 rule. It's where 80% of your results will come from 20% of your effort. So when you try a few things, you're playing around on the field a little, whatever works well, make sure you double down on it. I sell a lot of these sheep on my Etsy store, and they made up the majority of my sales by far. And also, because I know you guys are a little bit nosy, I have linked my Etsy store down below in the description, as well as a few affiliate filament links in case you guys do want to support the channel. Anyway, I started out with the baubles like I said before, and then I expanded into something new and different, which you are of course allowed to do. And these things done well as a new product in terms of the sheep, because, and these things already done well as a new product because I already look legit from my previous sales and reviews from the custom items. So when things are going well, I didn't decide to just chill with the sheep. I decided to double down on it. So I added more listings for different variations, and these were stuff for like the flat face sheep, these normal ones here, and then sheep with the mouths. And guess what? They all done well. You see, the listing was already validated, and because it was validated in particular for my shop, Etsy knew to promote these ones, so they were driving a ton of traffic for me. It actually just helped my shop with the sales so much. And you know what the saying is, make hay while the sun is shining. Etsy, along with all these other online shops, do have a lot of fluctuating sales and periods, so you really do need to capitalize on the highs. So fourth on our list is to actually print in advance and have some backlog of stock. And also be smart with your filament that you have. So don't overdo it. Don't make 50 of the items just hoping they're gonna sell because you personally think it's gonna be your best selling item yet. It's happened to me so many times, and unfortunately the items didn't sell. But you do also have to have the other side where you're gonna have just enough to have them ready in case it goes well. And the whole reason for this is because Etsy favors those who can actually post the items on time. So the quicker you can post it, you're seeing like a good seller in their eyes who can meet up with their demand instead of rushing it out last minute. And also you're more likely to get reviews. So when I was selling those sheep that I mentioned before, when I was getting 20 to 30 orders per day, I would actually ship out those 20 or 30. Even though I had 3 more days to get rid of those orders in terms of ship them off, because I was meeting up that demand, I personally believe that Etsy was like, yep, keep on getting him to these sheep orders, keep on recommending it, because he is actually dispatching them on time and the customers are leaving him really good reviews. And to help with this, don't have 10 items on your page with different colored filaments. Stick to the basics. It's going to make it harder for you to get your orders out. Have a few products that use the same filament so that you always have it in stock when you need. And I usually only stick to a few colors for my print palette, so it's going to be the basics like white, red, and black. And then occasional things as well. I do have a few more filaments, but I don't really use them that often. So over here, this is where I keep the rest of my filaments. As you can see, they're actually stored away in this cupboard. I don't use them that much. I feel like when loads of YouTubers show like all this filament in the background, it's mainly for show. I only have the primary filament that I use for my Etsy products. The rest are stored whenever I need them. So don't feel like you have to over order on filaments to make your products more unique. And last up, this is probably one of the most important on the list. It's to actually take better photos and make more listings. So good photos make or break listings, as you can imagine. Like anything content related nowadays, it's about what stops them scrolling and decides them to take a chance on your product by clicking on the link. This is a fundamental skill that you need to learn to make any listing have its best shot for its chance of success, because whether someone searches for your item or it's presented to them at the homepage, you are going to have to compete with surrounding items as well. So when I first started posting this sheep, I made a listing where I posted it in my bathroom, and then I took photos of it in my girlfriend's bathroom as well, along as another bathroom in her house. So I ended up choosing different angles, different lighting, different compositions of the same identical product. I probably had about 3 or 4 different listings with different photo sets and different titles. Sometimes some titles work better than others, and sometimes some photos work better than others, especially if you're looking at the difference between a desktop device or let's say a mobile device. It's basically free to try this. It's like 20 cents per listing. You can, of course, add text on it as well for some of the items, the thumbnails. You can do this in either Photoshop or Canva. So you can treat it like a YouTube thumbnail, where if it's a functional print that needs a little bit of help explaining, feel free to actually include that on the product shot. And then when you've done this, a week or 2 later, you can actually look at the data and analytics of your product. So you can see, hey, the same product out of 3 or 4 listings, which ones actually got most views and which ones did actually people click on the most, or which ones converted into sales. Again, it's a really small way to experiment with this, but it does actually help you become a better seller, because part of the selling part is not just making the product, it's actually advertising it and getting people to buy it. And these were just some of the things I learned along the way from running my shop. I hope you found some of it useful. If you guys are curious to know how much I made on my first year of Etsy, then I have a video listed up here. And also, if you are interested in checking out this cool custom 3D printed gift I made for my girlfriend, check out that video here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers, Dev.